Welcome back to our channel. I'm Dior.
And I'm IJ.
Hi, I'm Uchenna.
Tonight we're going to review Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode number 4, The Big Apple.
Yes.
So this is our this episode will be the start of our trips for the season.
I love the trips.
Yes, I do too. So we start off this episode on Marlo's property. She's building a house. I don't think I realized she was building a house.
No, I didn't either.
Because I think we were just talking about her condo. And so she's building a house, a custom house, and she has Sheree and Kenya come over.
Right.
Because they have house building experience or house remodeling experience, whatever you want to say. And we don't know where her budget is for her house. She won't give the details on how much she spending. We just know that I guess the base price of the house is $800,000 less than what she's going to end up paying for it. And you know, we
know it's going to be big because she had to get rid of 1,500 square feet. So 15, so it's going to be big. You know, she had to get rid of that much just to cut down on budget.
Yeah.
Well, you know, she should consider those kids. Who knows how long they're going to stay there. Once the kids leave, you're going to have an empty house. Well, I guess that's okay because Sheree and Kenya have big homes too, and it's just them and maybe one other person. So okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks nice. She has a black builder, which is really nice. Her and Kenya get into it a little bit about, you know, I guess they were kind of talking about the location of her home.
Like Ted versus wherever. Yeah.
And so then they get into it about how they're always talking about where her money comes from and how much money she makes. So, but they kind of resolved that really quickly. So
I was surprised that Marlo admitted that she doesn't have Buckhead money. I would have never thought that I would have heard that come out of her mouth, saying that she doesn't have as much money as everybody else. But it's good that she's being honest and open, you know?
Yeah, and who knows if she's doing it for tax purposes, because the IRS and people be watching these shows to see how much these people are saying they're making.
But she said Uncle Sam gets his money. She said that.
Yes, she made clear to say that.
I guess the next big thing to talk about, because they did a little Kandi and Todd scene, but it wasn't that big. Drew, we're at Drew's house, and we see that Mr. Anthony still works.
Yes.
With Drew, and the producers, I think, try to call her out a little bit and ask her, like, so what exactly is probation? Like, how do you, like, what's probation? So I think she's saying that they have a production company, and so they have to put him on probation before they can fire him or something like that.
She ain't incorporated.
She said Georgia is an at-will state.
And almost every state is at will. And she is an LLC, if that. So she's not like a big incorporated.
She's keeping it because he keeps her informed on gossip.
And he adds to her storyline.
And I wonder how, like, at the baby's birthday party, all of a sudden he got on probation. I'm like, did you just like put him on probation in your head right now, or was he already on probation? Or
that's what they should have asked. Can I see your documentation?
But I think she's lying.
As he's watching this show that he was on probation.
I think she's lying. He's not on any type of probation because he was running around his house like wasn't nothing different.
I know. Should have said, let's see that PIP. Performance improvement plan.
So Drew and her husband Ralph have a marriage counseling session with Dr. Ken.
I shouldn't do that.
Dr. Ken. So Dr. Ken, I guess they flew him out to do an in-person session.
How does that work? In order for him to, he's in that state, or he lives not.
I don't know, but she said they usually do it online, which a lot of people are doing online.
Oh yeah. I just wonder if he has privileges. He must have privileges.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. He's not blowing up his business for the show. You know.
But Yeah, so they have him out, and they start talking about the date, which is, I guess, why they decided to call him out, because the date night that Ralph planned didn't go so well. And he's talking about how nice he planned the date, how nice the date was, and that it was kind of ruined by Drew's attitude or her insistence on discussing their issues. And Dr. Ken tells her that she needs to live in the moment, but that's hard to do if we ignore the big
issue. With him too. I just
agree.
I didn't think that was great advice.
No.
Or he could have been meaning, there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah,
if
but
going out to dinner
or plan a date is not when we still having an issue that we haven't resolved.
I totally agree. But sometimes, doing a peace offering and going out to dinner, doing something nice together may sometimes soften it and make it easier to discuss. But I agree, it's hard to act like nothing happened and just blow it over.
To have this nice dinner. So
and steak and lobster, who cares? Like,
but it was nice. He did her up, but it was just nice. The wrong time. He was trying to give her flowers instead of taking care of what's going on, handling what's going on.
And so then Ralph brings up the fact that Drew said that Dr. Ken called him a maniac.
Dr. Ken was not happy.
Dr. Ken was like, keep my name out your mother effing.
You're not going to ruin my business with your mess.
No, he goes, you need to be concerned about what I cracked up. I was just like, okay.
I mean, the way he said it, I thought he had watched the episode where she said that. I was like, dang, yeah, he saw that episode, but no, he hadn't yet. So I'm happy about that. But he didn't say that he didn't say it. So
no.
Right, exactly. He's not gonna lie for them.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Oh, as part of the counseling, he advised them to have 30 days where there are no fights, no arguments. And whoever breaks, if they don't make it 30 days, whoever is the one that initiates the argument has to be a
servant.
I didn't always say that, but to the other one for 24 hours.
I mean, that's a hard thing to do for any couple. No arguing, no disagreements. That's going to be work, real work.
A lot of work. I mean, you just made
it disagree. You can disagree. You just can't blow it out of proportion like they do, where it becomes verbally abusive to each other and saying things that aren't nice and so forth. So you can disagree. It's just, you just have to watch what you're saying and how you're acting.
And he did tell them that, you guys are abusive, or he said mean to each other, verbally mean to each other, and he is right, but we've
never seen those fights, have we?
Yeah, I think at the dinner party, I mean, whatever his name was going in on her, he completely gaslit. Yeah, they have mean fights, and he completely gaslights her to no end. And yeah.
Okay.
So next we see Kandi's invitation. So
I thought it was cute. I like it.
Instead of Marlo's,
everybody else does theirs with galas and whatever it is, and she brought hers on.
Yeah, I thought Marlo's was great, and I thought Kandi's was great.
Yeah,
I just didn't know what it had to do with the play.
Absolutely nothing. She was trying to sell some toys. That's what it had to do with it.
And that's what the girls, they're all complaining about her, this and that about Kandi. But Kandi's a smart businesswoman. You're using this TV show to advertise your things.
At every moment.
Girl, get your coins. But I was trying to do what is that called again?
The archive, girl.
The archive. I'm sorry, it just is not,
But
and that's what, hold on, once again, that's what what's her name should be doing too, if you really think about it. Kenya, her hairline business, right?
Yeah.
I had seen that Kenya was on the Wendy Williams show, and they asked her about her fight with Kandi this season. And she said it was because she sent naked people. At the time, I didn't know what the people looked like, but naked people to her house, and her daughter could have been out there.
Listen, like, stop. She answered the door. Little Brooklyn is not going to run to the door. I mean, it's too much.
I think she was outside. She was already outside.
Brooklyn was?
No. Kenya was.
Oh, okay.
When they walked up. I don't know what she was doing, but
Brooklyn's what, 2?
3.
Yeah.
She just turned 3.
She's not going to remember that. She's not even know what that is.
Is she sure?
She's going to look at the people and that's it.
And go on her merry way.
Yeah.
Now, if she was 10, 11, 12, 9 or 8, maybe, I'd be kind of feeling what she's talking about.
Right.
She's a 2, 3-year-old. She'd probably think, ooh, breast milk. Should I get some?
But I guess Marlo was the only one who wasn't available when the invitation came. So
which is probably good because she has teenage sons.
Yeah.
So that would have been a little
that one would be.
Or maybe Kandi didn't even send them over. Maybe
right. Maybe that's
that
right.
would have been nice if
right.
she sent them over.
Yeah. Did you see Drew's husband? Ooh. And she's just like, close your eyes.
He's probably looking at the man. I'm just kidding. Well, you know, that rumor. I know. That's why I said that.
So for this trip, now they're all like about to get ready for this trip to Atlanta. And Kandi, because everyone's like late all the time, she rented a Sprinter and had them all meet so they could all get to the airport at the same time and make the flight. So I thought that was really good, and provide some additional entertainment.
Right. Oh, you forgot to add that she asked Todd to invite the men, which is great. I love seeing the men during the season.
Oh, did she ask that? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, she asked Todd to see if Drew's husband could come. He was like, "Yeah, I'll hook up the boys to see if they can come." Okay. So yeah, it was nice that that they came too.
Okay. So when Kenya gets on, she's all upset because the men are there. And she was like, she didn't know that it was.
She went through a divorce. Okay, it's not like she didn't.
I know.
You don't have a man.
Well, she doesn't have a man, but then neither did Marlo.
Yeah, but we had a friend where we used to do stuff together as couples and with our kids. And once, unfortunately, her boyfriend, living boyfriend, passed away. And once that happened, she stopped hanging around with us, even though the kids were close and friends, because she didn't have that guy, that man, who was a wonderful person, with her. She no longer wanted to be part of the group.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand how it's awkward.
Except she made it seem like she was unaware that the men were coming. And at Brooklyn's baby, I can want to call it a baby shower, Brooklyn's birthday party, they did a flashback where Drew asked if the men were coming or if they could come, and Kandi was like, "Yeah, if they're available, bring them."
Right.
And she said you could bring a boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, and Kenya responded, so she heard it, and
she did hear it.
She knew that,
But I think it was just like, yeah, bring them, but she didn't really know that they were coming. I think that's what her theme was.
I know, but if it was like, if I were gonna feel uncomfortable if they were gonna come, and I heard that they could come, I think I would check and say like, hey, are they bringing their husbands?
But you can also look at it like Kenya's throwing the feed, so she should say, hey, the guys are coming too. It's both ways, like,
Not really, but it's okay.
Say what?
Not really, but it's okay.
It is. Kandi is the host.
So
she should tell people these are the people that are coming. That's what I think. And then Kenya should have verified and asked if she was going to be that hurt over it.
Right. And then so they get to New York. What?
No, we're just laughing because laughing over the Kenya.
I know. I said, Holly.
Moving on. They get to the hotel. Kandi and Todd, of course, check into their penthouse, and they have food there for everyone,
which is nice because
get off a flight, check in, eat, and then they have like lunch on the balcony, it looks like. And they have an additional penthouse that they're gonna give to the winner of their game, which is whoever had the best sex story. So the women go through and tell their, I'm gonna say sex stories because we don't know how many of them are true.
Right.
So go ahead.
What's her name? The new Sonia said that they did the Mile High Club.
Mm-hmm.
So have any of you guys, are you guys part of the Mile High Club?
No, I don't like that.
First of all, I don't even like to go into the bathroom on the airplane. They're so tiny. I mean, I guess in first class they're better. I don't know.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
So, you know what? I thought the whole thing was so funny, especially once again. I think this just proves my point that Drew and her husband are just liars.
Well, can we go through everyone's story first?
Yeah, let's go through it. Yeah.
So Marlo said that hers was at a zoo and the giraffe was watching her and licking her face. So Kandi automatically dismissed that one. She was like, "You're lying."
Which I thought was funny.
Sheree said that hers was in Miami and at the Ritz-Carlton by the pool, and she said everyone was around. I feel like no one was asking any questions because I have additional questions like
you always have a
cabana or like,
in the pool.
Yeah, where was it? Let me see how believable this story is.
Right.
Then Drew and Ralph. Well, Ralph starts it, so I mean he started the lie, but he said it was in
the fell right along with it.
Dominican Republic in the ocean, and then this is where it was like getting kind of with the whales, and it's like, okay, you
the whales were watching
all the way out there to be where the whales were, and so now I need to know the logistics, like because. You weren't able to stand on the ground or anything. So you was just in the middle of the ocean, waiting your legs.
I mean, Sheree said it best. Did the whales get beached? Because that's what it would happen. So, and they can't even think through their lives. Yeah. Just like so stupid.
And I thought, well, maybe they never said it was near a beach. Maybe it was in the deeper part of the ocean. Maybe they had a yacht. And they went over the side of the yacht, but then I'm thinking,
but the logistics once you're in the water where you're
right, he has to hold her like he could have been doing the doggy paddle.
Yeah, hold on about that. Maybe they were wearing some tubes, or life jackets. But then I thought, no, you're just lying again,
right?
For attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kenya. Okay, so we have lots of lies on here. So Kenya,
I believe Kenya's coyote story.
Huh?
I said I believe Kenya's coyote story.
Of course you did.
You were out hunting and you shot a coyote and it was bleeding as it was running away.
Still alive, y'all.
And
got to a cavern.
That makes you want to get into the mood. Then you walk into some creepy ass cave.
In a cavern, like who's doing that? You don't know what's there.
Yeah, you don't know what is in there, especially if you follow the blood of the coyote in there.
And so that's where you go to have your. I was like, good Lord, these ladies.
So
all for a penthouse.
She won the prize. She won the penthouse for the most creative story.
Right? Did you see Todd's face? He's like,
yeah. I probably would have given it to the person who had the most believable story.
Right. Yeah.
There you go, Senior. Like.
Yeah. Right.
There you go.
Then we see Senya in her hotel room with her husband, and she's just really talking about how she's starting not to trust Drew because she didn't know that side of her that she saw at the baby shower. And then I think like what went extra left is like when she was putting her hands in Sheree's face. So she was,
which is very bold of her because Sheree will mow her down.
So she's just like, yeah, if you have a messy assistant, and she should say you keeping the messy assistant, you messy too.
You're right. You are. Yes, you are the company.
First of all, it's not even about having the messy assistant or whatever, but it's like the assistant was lying about your husband, you still kept him.
I know.
That's the part I would be.
But she said she couldn't prove. Like, how do we know the assistant said it? Did we see the assistant say it? Was there?
Well, Sheree said she has receipts.
Well, Sheree, bring your receipts out.
She did.
She did.
Later on we'll talk about it. But Senya did say that I just lost my train of thought. Oh, she said that the assistant must have some real dirt on them if she's keeping them after that.
That's true. Yep.
Be careful the company you keep.
Yes.
What I thought was interesting is that Drew didn't even tell her husband what the rumor was.
Yes.
I understand not telling him on the trip, but like you didn't even tell him why the man's still running around your house.
Because you don't want to get rid of him. So
yeah, that's right. She doesn't she made him get rid of his big booty assistant.
Right.
And so Marlo's getting her makeup done for the night, and
do you see how much makeup they be piling on that face?
Oh, girl,
a lot.
You saw the difference between Senya's makeup person and Marlo's makeup person. Two totally different makeup jobs.
I was like, wow.
So yeah, Sheree comes into the room to talk to her, and they're talking about their plans for the evening. So they're going to go to Todd's condo, then dinner, and they throw a little shade towards Todd's way by suggesting that he's cheating.
Yeah,
and then they talk about how freaky Kandi is, and then they start to question like who's the next freakiest person or couple in the group. And so who would you
say?
Who would you think?
No. Who would I think? I would say Marlo, please.
What about you, IJ?
I definitely wouldn't say Drew and Todd. I mean, definitely wouldn't say Drew and her husband. I don't really know. I think honestly, they all have boring sex lives. I think they have normal sex lives.
I think of all of them, I guess I probably would say Drew and her husband, just because, I don't know, he seemed like he wants more. He may be trying to push a little bit more out of her. Whereas, Marlo seems, I mean, she was messing with old men, so she wasn't doing much, I'm sure. But that's who they speculated would be the next freakiest couple. I still think it would look awkward though, like they just, I don't know, Drew just seems kind of awkward, but anyway, so then next they go to Todd's condo, and it's in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Where it is, Fort Lee, New Jersey, but it has a beautiful skyline.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. And
I don't understand why he needs it.
I mean, why not? He bought it. It's the way that things are now in this tri-state area. You can't find anything. You can't find houses that are reasonable. You can't find rents that is reasonable. And sometimes it's even hard to find places to rent. So if he wants to keep it and use it as a rental, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants to just keep the property. So I can understand. He wants something of his own. Like, remember when they were driving to the place?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah. I mean, I remember him saying that. I just, I'm just like, I would be like, what do you need it for? But I guess
he's from there. He's from, that area. He wants to be able to bring his children there, see where he grew up, be around his friends and family. Because he, like he said, he's all in kind of Kandi's world in Atlanta. So I mean, I think they have 2 children that live in New York. So
I can remember, he just wants something of his own, and he wants her to
it's already paid for.
Before he met her, so I can understand. She needs to give a little bit just so he can feel like he has some type of balance of power in the relationship.
Well, I think that something must be making her feel that way. So something must have happened in the past that there might be some trust lost there.
Well, she did say she has some insecurities about him going out and partying in New York and her not being there. She was honest too.
I think every woman would have some kind of insecurity.
I mean, yeah.
Especially because she said he acts like a college kid.
He's 50. Almost.
Yeah.
So it's like, when are you gonna grow out of it?
Yeah. And what if his friends are like single and they're women that
ready to mingle?
Yeah. So I'm sure I think it would, any woman who said, I have absolutely no doubt your husband must be in a wheelchair and
impotence, yeah.
Because it's gonna,
and even then, you still can't trust them, please.
So lastly, everyone likes the apartment, of course. I mean, and the condo. I mean, they suggest lots of improvements that are needed.
I like Kenya's improvements. She was right on. She did on the nail.
And
she did. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. Ralph said they had good energy, which that automatically would be like, okay, no, you got to sell it now.
Yes, no.
Look, he don't need to be co-signing. You tell him to put up. And so next they go out to dinner. And I think Kandi had already ordered the food for them or had an assortment of food for them, which is really nice. So they didn't really have to
sit down and try to order. I like that too.
Yeah. And at the dinner, they talk about what did they first start talking about? I know it ended up with
Drew and Ralph.
Yeah. But it was
Kenya was talking about how Ralph reminds her of her ex-husband and how he diminishes Drew.
And gaslights her. And how Mark used to gaslight her before gaslighting was a word. We didn't have that word yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did they even start talking
about that? How did they start talking about that?
Because, I know they brought up the, that they had the therapy session and that they were going to do
that's
30
how
days.
It came up. And the assistant part came up. No, someone brought up, say, hey, Drew, what's going on with the assistant? And then she really didn't say anything.
No, Ralph said he had to fire her.
Right, because they asked what was going on.
I thought they were talking about Anthony.
No, they were talking about his.
Yeah, when she said that, and then she got upset, and then
that's when Kenya said something.
And he said, it's not my fault that she had a big beauty.
And everyone was just like, oh my God.
And why would you even say that? No one mentioned anything about her butt.
Her butts. So that's what you were focusing on.
Yeah. I think she was, it sounded like she was concerned because they were having issues. I think it started with the rings. Remember?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, she lost the ring. Yeah.
But I
wonder why she wasn't wearing the ring. She just made excuses.
No, I think what she said was true. She gained weight. She couldn't fit it on. And then they were having marital problems. So she just didn't want to put it back on. Because they showed last season when she wasn't even wearing a ring.
Right.
What did you think about Kenya kind of butting into their...
I thought it was good. He needed to hear that because he's always hearing Drew's side, which he completely ignores and doesn't pay attention to it. So to hear someone else's perspective on it, I think it was good. And she was right. He's just like Mark. Mark used to gaslight her and he's gaslighting Drew. So she was right.
I think Drew was happy that somebody was on her side for once and not her being on her own.
Right. Until it switched. And then, because I think someone mentioned about both of them. I think Marlo said, well, sure, you're at fault too because you allowed it to happen. And then Kenya, I don't even know what Kenya.
It wasn't Kenya, it was Sonia who said, you know what, I was thinking the exact same thing. You're right. You play a part in it too, Drew. But then Kenya said, yeah, that's true. You do, because you be doing that to us. You never admit that when you're wrong.
I was I couldn't figure out where she was going with that. Okay. So they're just having this disagreement. I thought it was kind of I think they should have just let them, because they were only on day 2 or something of their 30 days. Don't talk about their marital issues while they're trying to work through a process. We knew it was
Gabe brought it up.
No, someone asked about the assistant.
Oh, but that didn't, how did that lead to the marital issues?
Well,
That's-
Judah
that's
brought
not-
up that they went to see the therapist.
Right, so they brought it up. So when somebody starts bringing things up like that, then you're questioning, do they want to talk about it? If they want to
Right,
talk
yeah.
about
Well,
it,
they know they first said that they have this 30 days where they're not supposed to get into any arguments. And then someone asked about the assistant. Like, that's not what you ask when you know someone's trying to work through their issues, you know?
They don't care.
I know they
I know,
don't.
they don't care.
I don't blame them. I'd be like asking questions too.
I wouldn't.
That's why you're not on the show. You're too nice.
No, Dio would be asking questions.
No, not
There's a
if someone
detective
said
in
that they
here.
were working through. I'm not gonna ask in front of them.
Mm.
Only when, you know, it's okay to ask. But when they're trying to like not fight for 30 days, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold this in until it comes up later.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we haven't seen the play yet. They go to the play tomorrow. So next week we'll see them go to the play, additional fights, I think.
Mhm.
They'll finish up the dinner. I don't know. So it'll be good. I think this is I've always liked when the husbands go on the trips.
Mhm, mhm.
So I know these are like a whole handful of new husbands.
Right.
But I mean, aside from Ralph, the other two husbands, there's just three of them, right? Yeah,
Yes.
the other two husbands seem to be cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully
Right.
they'll keep Ralph in check, at least on the
Mhm.
trip.
Yeah, and I think too, having the husbands there or the men there, boyfriends, whatever they are, it helps keep the women in check too,
Yeah.
where they don't go
Oh.
left and get crazy.
And Tyrone, we forgot about Tyrone.
Yeah. He's supposed to come next week.
And we
But
have
we've
kind of
seen
the
it.
details about how he's able to do that because he's on probation. So he was going to get an order, like permission,
100 miles. He's allowed within 100-mile radius.
but he has to be back by like 9 or something. So I think he was
Yeah.
going to get permission to like maybe stay there.
Or travel further. Than
Well, he
100
said that
miles.
on the phone, he said that New York was within 100 miles.
It is not.
Any place in
Of
Pennsylvania.
Atlanta? No.
No, he's in
when they're in New
Pennsylvania.
York, when they're in New York.
Oh, he's in Philly. He's in Pennsylvania. That's
Yeah.
right. Oh, that's right. That's
But we
right.
see in the preview that he doesn't come.
But he still needs permission because he wasn't going to be back by 9.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what, yeah, he needed the permission for it. We don't know that he's not going to come. We just know that he's not going to meet the ladies.
Right. That's true.
He
Mhm.
could have been in her, hotel room.
But I
But
would want him to meet the ladies.
what?
It's
what?
too new- I don't think I would want him to meet the ladies.
But
It's
she said she
too,
wanted him to. So.
I know,
know.
I just said if it was me, it's just too new. I need to establish some
It's
ground
not
rules.
new. They've been together for
I know, but he's
8
been
years.
out of jail.
She
Yeah.
wants to have a man on the show. So she wants to introduce him to her.
And we don't know how
Yeah.
long he's been out of jail. He could have been out of jail for a few years now.
True, true.
But yeah, so next week should be good. But in the meantime, we'll catch you guys on Wednesday and Friday.
Mhm.
Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.